Get up, mama. A wise person once said, the most common way we give up our power is by thinking we don't have any. Go get your butt up. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the channel. Just welcome back to the village, baby. How you doing over there, girl? No, for real. How are you doing? I want you to take a minute to think about that. Be honest about how you doing. Be honest about how you feeling right now. It's okay. You don't have to hide from anyone. You don't have to pretend in this moment. I really want you to be honest. You're human, baby. It's okay for you to feel however you're feeling right now. And if you can, and if you have the space, say it out loud. Even if it hurts, you'll be surprised. It might feel damn good too. So just do it right now. I don't care if you in your car, if you laying in your bed, if you in the bathroom getting yourself together. Say it out loud, girl. Just because you don't deal with them feelings don't mean they go away. You are allowed to feel. Now what you do with them feelings matter now. What you do with them feelings and how you manage them are important as well, but you are allowed to feel. You don't have to try to numb the pain. You don't have to try to push through to get rid of the pain. Acknowledge it. If you can deal with it, deal with it. If you can fix it right there, fix it. If you can't, you may have to come back to it. That's okay too. But that doesn't mean you have to ignore it. That doesn't mean you have to act like it ain't sitting there. Because let me tell you something. Whether you know it or not, you're going to show how you feel. What's on the inside always makes its way to the outside. Just because you ain't saying it verbally doesn't mean you ain't showing it. You're showing it through your actions some kind of way. But anyways, let's move on. That got a little deep in the beginning. Before we continue, let's take a deep breath. Slow ourselves down. Let's get grounded a little bit. I want you to take a gentle inhale in through your nose. Hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. Alrighty. Let's get into it. So, I know some of y'all probably thought that my demons got to me and I wasn't going to make it back here. But I came to tell you that is not what happened. I had some immediate family things that I needed to handle. We recently lost my uncle, and I know I needed to be there for my family at that time. So I made a conscious decision to take a moment, to take a break from just, I think that I prepared myself to return in the state that I'm returning right now with a smile on my face. But I want to thank y'all for being patient enough to wait for me without even knowing what was going on. I know I seen some of y'all messages like, girl, where the podcast at? Girl, where you at? But I'm right here, baby. I ain't going nowhere. I'm fighting the hell out of them demons. Okay. Welcome back to the podcast once again. If you want to watch the visual, you got to watch it on YouTube. From here on out, we just posting the audio on Spotify and things like that. So if you want to watch the video, go over there to YouTube. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what you waiting on? Go ahead and do that. And also turn your notifications on just so you'll be notified once the video posts. All right, so let's get into the episode. So first, we're going to start off with a little question and answers. I recently posted my story for y'all to ask me whatever questions y'all felt like asking me. And so we're going to get started on that. First question is relationship status. I'm about to become a single mom. So I'm guessing you asking my relationship status. It's a question mark after that. I am currently dating right now. I am currently dating with intention. And I am currently dating with purpose. And I know you said I'm about to become a single mom. I know no one ever plans for that. That never feels good. And I want to say to you, as you begin this journey, I know people don't usually wish for that, to be a single mom, so I know that probably hurts you. And I understand. And you are allowed to feel. But life moves on. And it's just the cards you're dealt with right now. But you got this. Just take your time. But I do want to say, when you step out there in that dating pool, be mindful of your purpose of stepping out there. Be mindful of your perspective, because what you think is out there is going to be out there. Like, for an example, if you think piss is in the dating pool, that's what's going to be in the dating pool. Piss is going to be in the dating pool because that's where you're going to end up at. Your perspective shapes your reality. Or the way you think is your reality. If you think there's some good men out there that will treat you well, that will take care of you and take care of your kids, and that's what you're going to get. But also, I want you to be mindful. Don't just jump out there just because you feel like you're free. Just because you feel like you want to do some get back. I want you to pay attention to what you learned in your previous relationship. Just because you wasn't the worst person or the bad person doesn't mean it's not something you can take from that. And I say that because a lot of times you see us women, we jump from one person thinking that it was just that person being who they are, and that's what made the relationship go bad. I'm not saying that person ain't bad. I'm not saying that person didn't play a horrible role in the relationship. But you chose that person. You stayed with that person. You made a baby with that person. We can say they manipulated us. They tricked us. They tricked us out of this. They bamboozled us. That may be true. So you ask yourself, what is it that you missed? Right? That doesn't mean go blame yourself. That just means sharpen yourself so you won't end up in the same situation. Where were you weak? Where did you lack discernment? So when you step into the next relationship, you ain't with the same person. We jump from these relationships thinking it's gonna be better, all because we got these butterflies, like they handsome, they treating you nice at the beginning. And baby, everything gonna feel good from the beginning. It's new, it's fresh. We both got a mask on. We both got down putting our best foot forward. But what happens when that wears off? Don't you go get stuck with another baby now. Okay? So I want you to make sure you learn from your previous relationship so you don't go and choose the same person with the same characteristics. And I also don't want you to go being the same person because a part of you chose. It's something in you that chose that person in the beginning. So I want you to strengthen yourself as well while you out there dating. And I'm not telling you not to date. I think it's very important to date. Because just because you go in the hole, you go in isolation, that does not mean you're healed. In order to determine if you're healing the proper way, you got to be able to step out there and test your skills out, girl. So go watch some dating coaches. I can give you some, next video I'll give you some people to go watch who I think give pretty decent advice when it comes to dating and finding yourself and stuff like that. If I don't make it in the next video, I'll drop it in the comment section or the description. So just be looking for it, okay? All right, next question. How do you stay so positive? You think I'm positive, girl? But no, on the serious up, I think honestly, I think I've always been that way. I've always looked at the glass half full. Things do bother me. Things do get to me. People like to think I'm nonchalant. I'm not nonchalant. I have feelings. Human just like everybody else. I just feel like it's important to manage your emotions. It ain't no need of acting like a nutcase, because that's just gonna get you worse or put you in a worse situation. And no need of me focusing on that or just focusing on the negative, because I believe what you think, what you feel are the things that you attract. So I feel like that could be one of the main reasons why I stay so positive. All that negative stuff ain't gonna get you too much. It ain't gonna get you too far. And then I feel like also being negative, you let other people control you. Like, why you want to live like that? That's what I say to myself. Like, why you want to live like that? You want to live with all of that hurt on you? You don't want to do that. That shit's stressful. That ain't fun. Well, at least for me, it ain't. I just don't like sitting in it. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me ask you something. What you got going on over there? Are you positive? Are you trying to be more positive? Do you feel like you're negative? I don't know. I want to know. Talk to me. Tell me what you got going on over there. Next question. What did motherhood force you to heal in yourself? I would say motherhood forced me to see myself. It forced me to see the trauma I was dealing with or why certain things were happening in my life. It allowed me to It forced me to face the truth when it came to a lot of things too. And it also forced me to rediscover myself. If I can go a bit deeper, if you want to hear that, I would say, for one, I learned to be more patient. I learned to have more patience. I had learned to have more patience with myself, and I also learned to have more patience with my kids. Because I learned that the goal in life is to understand people. Doesn't mean you have to agree. That just means you just need to understand. And then you can understand why people do the things that they do. And so for an example, like when it came to myself, I had to slow down so I could understand myself. Why am I doing the certain things that I'm doing? And I couldn't get to that if I'm always impatient, if I never slowed down to take the time to figure that out. So I had to learn how to have patience with myself. And then with my kids, you really have to learn how to have patience with kids. Especially they just coming into this world. We get to mess up. We should understand that they messing up too. That does not mean don't correct them. That does not mean don't teach them boundaries and responsibilities. That is not what I mean. But if they having a little meltdown, try to understand why they having a meltdown. The previous me, the old me, would probably be like, look, ain't nobody got time for that. Get your butt up and let's go. Some little southern habits I had. But because it forced me to slow down and understand myself, I was forced to slow down to understand them. Like if I'm an adult, feeling the way that I feel, handling and managing my emotions the way that I'm handling my emotions, what do I expect for them little children to do? That just got here in this world, that don't understand half of the stuff that I understand. That don't mean I just let them just do whatever now. That is not what I'm saying. I'm a firm believer in discipline and boundaries and behavior and stuff like that. But when it came to like allowing certain things in my life, my habits, my behaviors, my routines, it made me realize like, hey, if you don't fix these are who your kids are going to be. Not saying I know how their future and their path is going to turn out, but right now I'm creating a foundation for them. And I want to make sure I create a solid and a stable foundation that they can always return back to. Because I don't think the question in life is if we're going to get off track, if things are going to happen. I think the question is like, what system do you have in place for when they do? And so I want to make sure I teach them that, to have good systems when you get off track in life. Something that your mind, your mental can always take you back to because it was a habit and a routine that you had. Something that was, because it was principles that was instilled within you. And I also know that my kids are watching me. What I allow are the things that they're going to allow in their life. I'm not saying that's absolute, but if you look at facts, if you look at studies, we are developing from the time we hit birth. We are developing from the time we hit this world until about 7 is when we pick up like who we gonna naturally be. Like our characteristics, our principles, our foundation is instilled within us at that time or during that time frame. That doesn't mean we can't grow. That doesn't mean we can't heal. That just means that's our foundation. And that's a great chance that that's who we're going to become. That's why when you look around, a lot of us are our parents, our habits, our routines, our principles, and things like that. Good or bad. What we allow, you hear that a lot. Unless you fight like hell for that not to be the case. If you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? But, and not necessarily just your parents. When I say parents, the people who raised you. The people you were mostly around. But next question is, if your mother doesn't hug you, is it a red flag? If your mother doesn't hug you, is it a red flag? I think it sounds like one of those situations you have to be real careful with. The reason why I say that is this has nothing to do with you. But when you hear things like that, the space that I'm in right now in my life, before I try to respond, or before I try to, that's just like not respond to you, but just like respond to anything. I try to find some type of understanding. That does not mean I agree. That does not mean I have to accept everything I understand. That just means I understand people where they are, and I don't try to force them to be anything different. That question is a very challenging question, especially without context. And the reason why I say that is because people who have been abused physically, I know that could be a trigger for them. A negative trigger, one that brings back memories of them being abused. So, like, I'm not sure if that's her situation. So, especially in that case, try to understand where they're coming from. Because a red flag to me usually means run. A person, you can understand what a person is going through, but it doesn't mean you have to stay. Like, is that the only thing that's, I guess, wrong with her or considered a red flag? Like, does she have other things that you love about her that she gives to you, that she show you affection in other ways? And I want to make sure I ask that, because I also learned that just because you birthed a child doesn't mean you're a mother, or doesn't mean you have great motherly traits or motherly characteristics. So I think that's a question that requires a lot of in-depth, a lot of behind the scene conversations. To me, I don't think that's one of them questions where you can just give somebody an answer just from not knowing much. And I'm not saying this and to say anything negative about you and that you're not allowed to feel. I just think a lot of things need context. Even your side, even the way that you feel, need context. Not just thinking about the other person. And I don't want you to take that either. Sometimes what I mean by that, it doesn't mean you neglect how you feel, because people have triggers. But I just think that requires deeper understanding, deeper context. And I don't want to steward anyone in the wrong direction with something like that, or something that deep. Someone said, how do you stop pouring so much into other people and start pouring into yourself if your mom is the person who's always making you feel guilty or forcing you to do things for other people? I think this is where you have to strengthen yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself about how much you have to give. And I think you have to also be honest with the person that's requiring you to give as much. And when I say this requires you to strengthen yourself, this is going to require you to stand up for yourself. Speak up for yourself when you're feeling like your well is dry, your cup is empty, or you just ain't got anything to give. You're going to have to learn how to stand up for yourself. And I do understand that that's not an easy thing to do, depending on where you're at, depending on how you grew up, what your life is like. That ain't always an easy thing to do, but it's something that has to be done. Start one day at a time, learning how to say no. How do you set boundaries? How do you stop letting people run all over you when you know they are, but you can't seem to set boundaries? You can't seem to put yourself first. You can't seem to love yourself first. God almighty, girl. And I say that because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have been through that. But I want to say you already made one of the steps towards fixing that. You recognize that there is a problem. There are boundaries that need to be set, and you realize you're the person that's allowing it to happen. So I didn't hear you blaming anybody else in that, so I feel like you already done made a step towards it. So now I'm going to say that you just got to do it. That's the only way it gets done. You know what I'm saying? You know you need to set boundaries, set them. No, it ain't going to be that easy. You got to figure out how to set them. Start small today. Tell somebody no. No, I'm not doing that today. First, you got to tell yourself that, though. You got to have that conversation with yourself. You got to strengthen yourself. You got to ask yourself, like, who do I want to love more? Do I want to love the person or that person more, or that thing more? Or do I want to love myself more? And I hope you choose you. I ain't telling you what to do. But I hope you choose you. And you gonna have to do it scared. I know you may be scared that that person might leave. That person might not ever love you. Or that person, or you probably just feel like they may not even be showing you love in the way that you want to receive it, but they are there sometimes. And that makes you feel like that's enough. Because you may feel like you don't deserve more than that for some reason. But baby, all of that is pseudo. All of that is fake anyway. So I say you might as well stand up now so you can eventually get something real. Because they're going to leave anyway. They're going to leave when they get ready to leave. You hold on to something too tight, it's going to always slip away. Somebody told me that. My mama, my grandmama, somebody. Something I heard. You hold on too tight, try to have too much control, it's going to always slip away, baby. But yeah, you're going to have to make that decision. You're going to have to strengthen them insecurities you got in you. Feeling like you ain't good enough, not knowing your value, not knowing your worth. And I want to tell you that everybody has that in them. Everybody has something worthy about them. Everybody has something valuable about them. You just got to go find it. And you got to believe it. And when you believe it, the people you start dealing with are going to believe it. But right now, you're getting a reflection of what you believe. They know they can just take from you. You think they're crazy. They ain't crazy. The people know what they're doing. The people know you don't have boundaries. The people know you got low self-esteem. The people know all of that. Just like you know it, they know it. We teach people how to treat us. You want something different, you got to be something different. If you want something different, you got to be something different. And I hope you choose yourself, girl. I need you to choose yourself. Especially if you watching my channel, that means you're a mama. And if you ain't choosing yourself, you teaching your children how not to choose themselves. Yes, it is that deep. If you don't believe me, look around. Why you ain't choosing yourself? I ain't saying that for you to beat yourself down. I'm saying that for you to get up and be something different. We all make mistakes in life. But I mean, we got to keep making the same ones over and over. I think it's going to be our last question because I feel like I've just been talking. How do you forgive yourself when it constantly gets thrown back in your face? How do you forgive yourself when it's constantly thrown back in your face? Once again, you just going to have to do it. You got to figure it out, small steps. I think that I don't think it's so much of it's being thrown in your face by other people that makes us feel bad, that makes us feel like we gonna change, or we can't change, or we can't do better, we can't ever move on from the situation. I think it's your guilt and your shame that you feel around what you did. I don't even think it's about the other person. I think that's about you. I think that just means you just probably ain't taking full accountability of what you did. And you looking for a scapegoat. You looking for somebody else to make you feel better about something you did. That's my opinion on it. That's how I feel. That don't mean that that's true. I just know from experience and how I watch people. Like you probably haven't forgiven yourself. I think that part comes from how you feel about it, how you sitting with it, what you are accepting about it. Like, have you acknowledged that, damn, you messed up, or it's something that needs to be forgiven? Because I think when you do that, I think you move differently. But I think when you waiting for somebody else to forgive you before you forgive yourself, you're going to always find a reason why not to forgive yourself. What makes you uncomfortable about it? Them people get to hurt from whatever pain you cause them. They get to hurt. They get to say, oh, I don't feel like you're doing this, not on for. They get to do that. But in order for you to forgive yourself, it starts with you. They get to feel the way that they feel from you hurting them. And if you holding yourself accountable, you got to understand that too. That doesn't mean always defend yourself because they feel some type of way from the pain you caused them or what you did to them. I'm not saying for you not to have emotion, but that doesn't mean you have to always get defensive. That's what I mean. Defensive. Like, you hurt them people. Them people are going to express how hurt they feel. They're going to show how hurt they feel because you hurt them. Or whatever happened. I don't know what happened. But that's the fruit that you produce. You got to decide how you're going to live with it. Like, hey, you can sit with them through it. Like, hey, I know I called you. Have you even acknowledged to them that, or whoever it is that won't allow you to forget it? Have you acknowledged to them, like, hey, I understand. I hurt you. I know how you feel. And I'm trying to move forward. What can we do to move forward? Because I know that whatever you keep throwing back in my face, the way you throwing it back in my face, I may not be allowed to be whoever it is that you want me to be. You know what I mean? But I know I hurt you, so how do we move forward? Right? And I feel like when you do those type of things, when you hold yourself accountable for the things that you did to someone else, then you'll learn how to forgive yourself. You'll learn how to let some of that shame go, some of that guilt go. Because you'll start understanding why you did the things that you did. And then as you start moving towards, like, changing, and I want to say, who do you believe in? Do you believe in God? A higher power? I didn't ask you why you're religious. I'm asking you a spirit connection. Who do you believe in? You're going to have to go find them. You're going to have to go dig deep for them to get a deeper understanding. You hurt somebody. They're allowed to be hurt. But that doesn't mean you got to take everything that gets thrown at you either. But you got to learn how to heal that part in you that hurt them, that allowed you, whoever you were at that time, you got to make sure you heal that person. Because if you don't heal that person, you don't forgive that person, you probably still showing up the same person. That's probably why they keep throwing it up in your face. And you still showing up as that same person. I'm not saying you got to show up perfect, but I'm saying dig deep. Who were you when you hurt those people? Are you that same person, or are you trying to be someone different? I think that's something that's unsettling in you. Something in you is disturbed by what you did, I feel like. Hopefully that one makes sense. Gonna end this session with that question. But I hope you learn how to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself is for you. Or for you to just heal who you were. A wise person once said, the most common way we give up our power is by thinking we don't have any. I need you to get up, girl, and I need you to fight for you. Because it starts with you. This is your life. You can move that thing however you want that thing to move. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And do you see me flying? That one tickled me. Okay, I had to lighten up the mood real quick though. But I'm serious. You have all the power. Stop giving it up. But whatever you choose to do, so remember to love on yourself just a little bit more today. Pour into you. You got this, baby.